The enforcement action is taken by the country of departure from the European community, basically, which in this case happens to be France.
So the bear is completely legal to Paris, yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Now, this all happened Thursday, right? Friday, we phone up the DTI, because I've got a couple of questions. I need to ask them about whether we can get stuff out to Oman without an export licence, and then someone from Iraq nips down, collects it and goes off. And the bloke there said to us, look, this is only a provisional. He said, I need to consult about this, but, and this is what he said, if it is known that any item is going to Iraq from the UK, an application must be made for a UK export licence beforehand. Which sounds to be in contradiction to the Customs and Excise. We were thinking, well, what's going on here? Because, like, one bit of the government saying one thing, another bit of the government saying something, and it's over a teddy. It's over a teddy. They must have dragged people out of meetings when we started calling round. High-powered officials. We've got a crisis with the teddy. Get them out. Oh, God, have we got a teddy person now? I don't know. Who knows teddy law? I don't know teddy law. We need an appointee of teddy law. Can they take a teddy out without an export licence? I don't know. We need to find out legal clarification. Get to the Attorney General. He said we have to go back to the Customs and Excise. Oh, God, we need law on the teddy. A fucking teddy! And it highlights, I think it just highlights the total absurdity of it all. And I don't know, last week, as you know, we were arguing for economic sanctions to be brought in for Burma, because the people of Burma asked for them. And there is evidence that shows that it would cut off directly the money supplied to the military. The sanctions, the bombing in Iraq has not worked. Saddam Hussein is stronger on his grip of Iraq than ever before. He's in control there. He hasn't gone. And the people there are being caught between him and the sanctions. 250,000 to 500,000 under fives have died. And I think the answer is very, very simple. The West simply has to do two things. You have to lift the sanctions on Iraq. You have to let them trade. You have to let them repair the country. And the other thing the West has to do, and they won't like it, but I think it's very important, and they'll find it unusual, but I think they need to do it. This time, really make sure you don't sell him any fucking guns.
So one time that stays in my memory so much is being with a doctor who is a hero. I mean, he could have left, he's an older fellow, and he decided to stay with this situation. Very gentle man, and he was at the bedside of a woman who was keening and sobbing because her 7-month-old baby, who really looked like a 7-month-old fetus, Friel was her name, had suffered a cardiac arrest. The child had initially a small infection, but it had become full-body septicemia. And the doctor gave the baby artificial resuscitation, and the mother had this real moment of hope on her face. And then the doctor had to tell her, I'm sorry, your child can be with you for minutes, maybe hours, but this child cannot live. We have not the oxygen. We have not the tube. And then he just walked away shattered. And she pulled me down on the bed next to her. And my shoulder was damp from her tears. And she sat there holding in her hand the tube that they did have. And that tube was the size of a pencil, but little Friel, emaciated as she was, had a nostril the size of the point of the pencil. So the tube was completely irrelevant and useless. And so she just sobbed and sobbed. And a British team member was with me. And I remember he kind of had a rising look of horror on his face. And then he said, I think I understand. It's a death row for infants, isn't it? And there are some politicians, some figures in political life here, who will sometimes go to a death row in this country, and as a way to win an election, they'll witness the execution of someone, and I would never favor that, but I want to know, is there just one that would go over to an Iraqi hospital and witness the execution of these children and come out and say, that was just, that was right, I'm for it? I don't think so.